Hey, thanks for listening to this Trainer Spotlight episode on FITLETE Radio. My name is George Pagan III. Let's meet our coach.
My name is Cat Zazon. I'm a coach, a yoga, movement, and breathwork guide with over 15 years of experience also in business development, communications, and wellness. I help people heal and get stronger to live their best life. So I combine strength training, yoga, breathwork, dance, energy work to empower clients to move better, feel better, and in the yoga world, connect vibrationally and live with purpose. So my approach blends physical transformation and deep inner work. Whether someone comes to me for building muscle, fat loss, energy shifts, or even emotional healing, I try to meet them where they are and guide them to where they want to be. My new rebrand is called Zazz Body, and I'm super pumped to launch this fall.
I know you're an awesome coach and take your job seriously, but to get to know you a little bit more, can you tell us a funny story about your life that happened outside of coaching?
This is probably around 2011 or 2012. My family did a trip to Dominican Republic to an all-inclusive. At the time, I was living in New York, working there, and I came later than everybody else. And I arrived at the hotel probably around dinner time. I walk in through the front. I check in at the front, give them my passport. They give me the room key. I head to the room with my luggage, and nobody was in the rooms when I arrived. So I decided to do what I had learned somewhere in my past is if you're not sure where someone is, maybe you stay put and they will come back to find you. At the time, I think cell phones were really different and maybe we didn't have service or something like that. So it wasn't as easy back then to contact through cell phones. So I decided to stay put. I ended up taking a shower. I ended up taking a nap also. And then it got to be around 9 or 10. Nobody was back in the room yet. So I decided to get a little curious, I guess, and go up to the lobby just to see if I could see anybody anywhere. Still, no one had checked back in my room for me also. So I go up to the lobby and I see my family across the way and everybody, I wave, I say, "Hey guys," and everybody turns to me. A couple people had tears in their eyes, looked like they were crying, and they looked super worried. They run over to me, give me a huge hug. Literally, they thought I was like abducted. The front desk apparently had no record of me coming into the hotel. They didn't have any record of me arriving on my flight. And so after my family had been worried and sort of kicked my ass in the moment and given me a really hard time for not like coming out of the room earlier, everybody was very relieved. And it's funny now looking back, the miscommunication.
We can't train everyone exactly the same. Our clients come to us having different life experiences and sometimes force us to think outside the box when it comes to their training. As a coach, how do you problem solve with your clients who come to you with some common aches, pains, injuries, some physical limitations, or previous traumas so they can still get the results that they want and the ones that they came to you for?
If someone's coming to me with any injuries, limitations, pains, I start to ask questions. I get really curious. I think it's important to look at the client as the full human, right? They might have a physical injury, but there could be something else going on in their lives that is contributing to this pain, this ailment, this ongoing situation in their body. So I'm asking things like, how's work going? How are your personal relationships? How's your romantic relationships? Things like going through grief, all these different things going on in life can affect you and how you move and how your body is adapting, is moving, where you're holding stress. So I just get really curious. I want to hear them. So um, people really don't like to hear this. Also, is they don't like to take time off. They don't want to modify their movement and training. They look at me like I'm crazy when I say, this could be like a couple months that you need to really rest, recover, do something different, walk, take more rest days, drink more water, sleep better. I'm always going back to the basics. Um, the harder you are in your body, the quicker you wear it down. So a lot of my clients aren't training to go to the Olympics, right? Maybe they're training for performance in another sport or something like that. But typically my clients want to feel good in their bodies physically. They want to live a long, happy life. So I'm trying to guide them into the best path just to feel good. So yeah, I get curious. The questions I ask, I hope spark some kind of, interest in people getting to know themselves better. So I help people really try and reconnect with their body, their nervous system, their breath. And something we talk about in yoga is connecting to your inner wisdom, because sometimes we overlook like that voice. And I think it's really important to connect to that.
Just like we are, most of our clients are spending time on social media and can get information from other people in their family and social circles. When questions come up during coaching calls and training sessions, how do you address some of the common misconceptions around nutrition and exercise with these clients?
Yes, the market is oversaturated with too much information and it's very confusing. So I'm always so happy when a client brings something up to talk about and to talk through. I think, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of my coaching is kind of helping my clients listen to themselves and their own wisdom. Right? I think research is amazing. I also think there's something um, to be said about researching way too much. And with all the tools and technology that's out there, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse to have all this information around us. We lose the connection to self and to what your body's telling you, um, when we're just kind of like looking out there for all the answers. I talk a lot about going inward, quieting the noise through different practices that I work on with my clients, which is breath work, meditation, recovery. And I also, when it comes down to it, we don't need as much as we think when it comes to health, fitness, wellness, and coming back to like foundational tools, eating to nourish, lifting heavy, getting some super challenging workouts in, recovering smart. I always love to recommend some kind of spiritual practice. I don't need you to be a monk if you're coaching with me, but I think it's really supportive and helpful to have your own sort of practice of peace. Um, Heal your trauma and really enjoy the journey. But yeah, just getting back to the basics is typically what I like to coach and teach, um, helping people listen to intuition. And yes, science is beautiful, but I also think like listening to your intuition is the best thing, and trying to simplify your life versus, um, trying to do it all, and just staying connected to that inner voice, inner truth, and staying grounded. It's hard to do, but it is possible.
Our clients can come to us for many reasons, and often they tell us in their consultations or new lead questionnaire that they have multiple goals or they're trying to work on a couple of things. Usually it's not just one sole specific thing. How do you approach goal setting with these clients who have multiple objectives when you ask them about what their goals are?
I love goal setting so much. It's a very energizing part of the process when I start working with clients. But I typically say less is more, and more is not always better, because around one goal, you're going to have multiple steps to achieve that goal. So I try to help them simplify. I get really clear about those steps. So, for example, sometimes people want to lose weight, build muscle, they want to get lean, they want to get ripped, they want to have more peace of mind, they want to lessen their stress in their life, but they're not willing to give up alcohol. That's a really big one. So that's a problem. So what's more important to you? Is your goal or getting a buzz? You got to look at these things. I help clients transform, and that's going to take sacrifice, it's going to take work, and it's going to take you, and it's going to require you to do something different and do something you've never done before. And it's going to be uncomfortable, and it's going to be dark at times, and you're going to question things, and you're going to want to cave in and go back to your old ways, which is part of the journey, right? It's never linear. It is up and down and around in circles, and then we get back on track. So I'm there as a support system to reach goals for my clients. And like I mentioned, goals are layered. So we try to simplify things. I think that's really important, to simplify, get clear, have a writing practice. Reflection time is really good. And also constant review of it, just to make sure that we're on track and we feel good about the direction that we're going at all times.
I believe all coaches should have similar baseline knowledge before starting to work with people. And I'm building Fitly to help bridge some of these gaps that exist in our exposure to education. What experiences or qualifications do you think are crucial for coaches to have in order to deliver the best service they can for their clients?
I think it's really important for coaches to be vulnerable themselves. We all have a story, and coaches are amazing. I mean, trainers, yogis, anyone in the movement space, we all have a story. So I think to build trust with a client, I think it's important to share some of the things that us as teachers, coaches, healers go through in our journey. It's important for us to be able to hold space for our clients and be understanding for where they are. I just think it's really beneficial to share, that we're not just out here talking the talk, we're walking the walk, we're doing the work, we're going to trainings, we're taking time off, we're potentially getting injured, hopefully not, but that we go through things too. We have things going on in our personal lives, not that you have to share, you know, all your trauma drama, but like keep it real. Um, I think it's important. We're spending a lot of time with our clients, so for them to understand who we are, what we're all about, and what makes us us is major.
Our industry is evolving every step of the way, and we're getting to the point where it's essential to have some sort of technology within your business for both the experiences you can deliver for your clients and your ability to grow sustainably. How do you use technology to assist you in your coaching as a coach and behind the scenes as a coach that nobody really sees?
I use True Coach for my personal training clients. I also use True Coach for creating breathwork programs for some of my clients, which has been great. I do live virtual group classes. So I use Google Meet, I use Zoom, I use FaceTime if it's a one-on-one client. I use WhatsApp for voice notes, inspiration I'm sending, things like that. I also have guided meditations and yoga on YouTube. I used to be more diligent in being heavy on keeping track of my clients' metrics. Yes, there is value. Yes, it's important. But in what I like to teach now, I think too much metric tracking and it is overkill. So I will definitely keep track on my own with how clients are doing. I take diligent notes. I'm always on my notes, or I keep Google Docs for notes when I'm working with clients. Just like little things sometimes, like how they're doing. They mention something, so that I can go back and reference it. So yeah, I used to be more diligent. I just think what I like to teach now is helping my clients train intuitively, connect to their body. Um, and not to be just stuck to a device tracking every single thing that they're doing. So, yeah, it's important. And I think there's moments in time to do it. But I like to teach more intuition for training, for yoga, and just as like a lifestyle practice. So that is how I use technology as a coach. I think it's ever evolving. I look forward to seeing where technology does go for coaches. It's huge. Um, just the direction of AI and everything. It's a beautiful thing. So using it intentionally, I think is really major. Using it in the right way with the right person at the right time, using it sparingly, and not forgetting about our intuitive skills. Super important.
Kat, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some great info about yourself. Kat and I met when we were both training our clients in the same training facility within Miami. I had been at this facility for a few years now, and she had recently moved down to the Miami area and was looking for a place to train some clients and train herself also in a welcoming environment. And that's where she stumbled into the facility that I was using. And I was actually taking over as a manager for a short period of time in that location. And yeah, that's how we got to know each other. It was pretty organic in that way, both training clients there and training ourselves in the same facility. So we got to spend quite a bit of time together on and off the gym floor for about the better part of a year, I believe. And even though we have different styles of training, different visions and directions for our business and how we work with clients, we were able to work well together and use each other to kind of talk through some different issues and problems we were having with different clients and have a nice dialogue back and forth. And when you get a chance to meet Kat, she has this bright, authentic personality that fits within our coaching world perfectly. So I think you'll get along with her too once you get a chance to meet her. I'm glad you got to know her a little bit more through this episode. And check the show notes to see how to connect with her best. That's all for this episode. If you want to learn more about FITLETE and possibly get your own episode visit fitlete.com. That's FITLETE.com. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.